Aloha, everyone, and welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me today. This is Marissa Indigo, and I am guided to discuss a very, very powerful topic of the mother wound. Ooh, yes, this is a big one, so I invite everyone to take a breath and open the heart space. This is a very relevant topic, more so than ever, when we discuss ancestral healing and clearing and DNA activation at this time, because there is so much light and so much support for us right now as we are approaching the equinox gateway to really start to converge and merge our humanity with our divinity and to embody our divinity. This being the year of the seven, it's all about our mastery. And for so many of us, myself included, if you're familiar with my work, if you've watched some of my other videos on this channel, the mother wound is one of the most massive and intense initiations for us in our embracing of our divinity. A lot of us have a lot of story and a lot of aspects of ourselves, of our beingness, of our energy, the matrilineal lineage, the libraries in our DNA that are connected to the distortions of our ancestry, particularly through the matrilineal line, the lineage of the mother, the lineage of our grandmothers. And the reason this is such a visceral, just really powerful and a massive portal where we can feel a lot of resistance to this particular piece of the healing journey is because we were carried in this human mother who bore us, and being carried by someone in this experience of the divine, of a soul coming down from source and separating off, in a matter of speaking, to come into a body. That alone is enough to give us all the PTSD, that many of us have from the incarnational experience, the material, the earthly experience, right? Feeling separate from the divine, from source, from God in a body. That already is a massive undertaking for us to transcend the illusions of separation. And many of us have these core wounds of abandonment, betrayal, neglect, serious disappointment from our mothers, our human earth mothers. And it goes back to first separation. And so one of the ways that I look at this is perhaps we could look at this as the origins of what modern churches, and religious systems have deemed original sin. And of course, those things get distorted. And then they become systems of control and domination and making people feel shame, making them feel stained, right? And how I look at this is perhaps this is actually watered down, but it's about the core wounding of the separation that we feel coming into the body, the pain of the separation that we feel coming into the corporeal, and the dense reality of the 3D and all of the programming, all of the matrix systems that were very traumatizing. If you could imagine us coming from source and just being happy and at one, and none of the bullshit, none of the density, the distortion and the pain that so many of us have experienced in this old paradigm that we are getting ready to really rocket away from now. It makes sense that it would be that deep of a sensation of abandonment or betrayal or neglect or unworthiness. So the mother wound is one of the most, if not the most powerful healing modalities or routes that we can take to bridge the gap that we perceive to exist between our humanity and our divinity. And what I propose is the notion that perhaps we have always been looking at this in the past, of course, through our separated aspect of the wounded child, the wounded ego, the victim, and had blame that we were holding, judgment, anger that we were holding. All of these emotions are valid to experience. And then we also want to make sure that we bring into balance other perspectives. And so where I'm going with this is, what if we start to look at our experiences through the heart and the eyes of our soul, the big picture looking at the truths that we inherently know, that we all chose our experiences. We made agreements before coming down of what would open our heart the most massive expansions. Often this is through the contraction. It's all magnetics. So the invitation is to depersonalize the stories associated with our mother and where she wasn't as perfect as we would have liked from the human perspective. Offering the compassion that as children, we see our biological parents as creator gods, because in essence, from another perspective, they created us and we share genetic material. That being said, the human flaws are hard to embrace and to accept and to forgive how they've impacted us. And the invitation here is to transform our perspective with the eyes of our connection, of our embodiment, of our own aspect of divinity, and starting to see our mothers, for all their humanness, all their flaws, as saints for what they have activated within us, regardless of the unconsciousness. And this was one of the largest healing pieces for me. It took the majority of my life. Many of you are familiar with what I've shared here about my lineage. We came to transcend pretty much every human distortion imaginable and the unconsciousness. And that was how we set it up. We wanted a challenge. So we signed up for some of the gnarliest distortions of humanity in regards to children and mothers and family and all kinds of things. So a few years ago in 2020, as I started to really go deeply into Sophia Christ consciousness, working with Gaia, Divine Mother, the Magdalene, Sophia, all of these emanations of Divine Mother on a very deep level. As she called me, she calls us all home. Mother always calls us home, and she has many forms. I was led to the teachings of the Holy Womb Chakra. And that was the medicine, this ancient, amazing system. It's allegedly, the story goes, it's 7,000 years old, and it came from the Pleiades down into the 7 rishis, the Septa-rishis of ancient India and Tibet. And it's a technology of mantra with the Sanskrit language, which is a form of a light language, and using these very specific geometric structures to see the cosmic womb, the cosmic celestial divine mother, and how the human experience is actually a microcosmic version of that, allowing us to transcend the flaws, the pain, the story, where our birth mothers, our human mothers, were not divine. And it really supports us in bridging that gap. So I found this system in 2020, have been working with it for 3 years, and am now guided to share it. And it's all about the mother. It's all about divinitizing our experience with our mother so that we can really experience the most high levels yet and beyond of our soul embodiment, of our Christed aspect embodiment, and thus connecting ourselves on a macrocosmic celestial level with Divine Mother. So this torment, this separation, this pain, this lack of mother, where our mothers perhaps were not what we would have desired, or what we would have said was the perfect mother, goes all the way back to the Great Schism, when we shifted from a matrilineal society to a patrilineal society. And that's just part of the pendulum going from one extreme to the other. And here we are now, bringing that, we're bridging that into the center for the new age here that we are birthing right now. And so this system offers us the opportunity to birth ourselves anew, connecting with the Holy Womb Chakra, which is our connection to our mother. Whether you're a man or a woman, women have a womb. And so we have it viscerally in the body as well as etherically. Men have it etherically, and it's like this beautiful etheric umbilicus to our birth mother, and going back through the lineage of the mothers to first separation or first incarnation into the human experience. So if we can imagine, okay, so we have maybe 6,500 years of distortion of where the feminine was replaced and kind of smashed out. that was all part of the plan for a great forgetting, a very powerful and painful amnesia for us to no longer have that connection to the earth and to our mother and to, our human mother, and thus every version of mother, of divine mother. So it starts to make sense that we have such a great pain that's kind of visceral. We can feel that trauma viscerally in our body. Okay, sorry, my cat was getting into a brown paper bag and making a lot of noise. So it makes sense that we have a great deal of pain, perhaps a lot of energy invested in the story of feeling neglected or betrayed. And it's the time to rewrite all of that. It's the time to really embody our Christed selves, our higher selves, and to take the energy farther and beyond the limitations, beyond the pain. So this system of the Holy Womb Chakra, we talk a lot about Mother Mary and her kind of being the archetypal example of divine birth. And here we are in our human experience, looking at everything that is not divine and maybe giving a lot of power to that, a lot of energy to that, to the emotion, rather than allowing ourselves to feel those emotions and to heal them, to clear them, to release them from our bodies, to surrender the schism and release the stories of separation, to truly embrace our divinity. It starts with humanity, which is why we're here. That's why we came, to have this human experience as a spiritual being, as a soul, as a light being. So it's a very deep journey. It's one that will change everything for you personally, the liberation, also everyone you share genetics with, because it is the most massive karmic clearing, where we're actually working directly with the light language, with the Sanskrit mantra, and these special schematics that show us the primordial cosmic womb, which many of us are thinking that could also symbolically represent in our local galaxy, in our sector here, the galactic center, grand central sun, all of these beautiful portals where all these light codes and cosmic rays are coming from right now. So this is a powerful opportunity to take advantage of the ability, the gifts that were granted to us by our star mothers to support us for exactly this time. And this technology of the Holy Womb Chakra, like I shared, it came down to earth about 7,000 years ago. And at that point, we were in a Satya Yuga, a beautiful, peaceful dimension where everyone was embodied, their Christ consciousness, their soul. It was a heaven on earth kind of scenario. Divine birth was happening. It was like a Telosian society, maybe a 7D kind of consciousness for everyone on the planet. Then the rishis saw that we would have that great schism, the patriarchy, the crucifixion, all of these really massive events that would throw humanity back into a medieval times kind of period of darkness, of ignorance, of materialism. And so the teachings were hidden, they were literally buried so that the Holy Womb Chakra technology could not be hijacked by those without the integrity to wield creative, divine creator being technology responsibly. And it was prophesied that an avatar would be born at the dawning of the new golden age and bring the teachings forth. And that is Sri Kaleshwar of India. And so he was born of divine birth and knew his purpose. He knew why he was here, and he would just go out in the jungle and the manuscripts would come. The rishis would just materialize and say, hey, and just walk by him meditating in the middle of the jungle and just hand him a palm leaf manuscript. And so in 1997, he brought the Holy Womb Chakra healing technologies and the teachings of Divine Mother, of connecting again to our human mother and really bringing that divine quality through in our human experience, the story, the lineage, the family, to clear our karma and thus open ourselves and establish ourselves in our truth, our true authentic expression as portals of the divine, as creator beings. So the invitation is to sit with these teachings and how you feel. And if you're interested, if you're feeling the call to go for it and to try a new way of healing your lineage, for yourself, for your family, for the future generations, and also for the collectives. I'm offering these teachings on New Earth One with Loren Gailey for a really phenomenal price of $33. It's a great price for the webinar. And you're going to get the teachings, the history, practicing how to say the mantra, the protocol for, it's called the mother gaze, the mother gazing practice, which is a 21 to 41 day process of working with the Divine Mother and your mother and forgiveness and clearing. And it's a very powerful practice. For me, when I did it, everything shifted with my relationship with my mother. My voice changed, my frequency changed. It really course corrected me because I wasn't holding on to all of that bitterness anymore, which ultimately poisons us and deters us from our destiny, right? It's like that image of if we're holding on to anger and we're refusing to forgive someone or see from an expanded state, we're the ones holding this burning lump of coal and it's burning us, you know. It's not doing anything positive for us or for anyone else. So this practice supported me to be in a 0 point kind of space with my own mom. And as I embraced my freedom more and my divinity more, it allowed her to do the same. And she's a completely different person now. And I'm not saying that I created that, but by releasing what was kind of holding the old karma between us, by clearing that, I think that it's a very powerful practice to support everyone to then be fully engaged in their own free will, in their development. This practice is very powerful, whether your mother is here presently incarnated or she has passed over. It's been a total game changer for me. And it's a very sacred and precious technology and a very beautiful opportunity for all of us, no matter what body we're in this life, man or woman, to really activate our divine feminine. So I'm going to put a link to the workshop in the description box below. It's going to be on Wednesday, the 15th, from 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 2 p.m. And I'm also going to link the discussion below that Loren and I had. We talked about this and the importance of this. And I also gave the audience quite a few different activations to work with to really open our hearts so that we're not in our minds, you know, segmented off, rationalizing our judgment, rationalizing our anger, really, you know, creating excuses for why we're not allowed to have the most beautiful and divine experience now, because the energies are providing that if we will take advantage of that. We have amazing access right now. So it's a very powerful time. So all of that information will be in the description box below. Felt important to come on and have a video where I could see you and connect, because it's been a while. I don't always have the ability to be on video, just depending on what's going on with the internet and everything. It's faster for me a lot to get the transmissions out to you now more consistently in podcast form. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I hopefully will see you on Wednesday. Wishing you an amazing weekend. And another thing I meant to say about this is that with Chiron, the wounded healer, the asteroid that is so present right now, it's really about our story and writing a new story. And Chiron, his symbol, actually looks like a key. And so this is one of the most powerful keys that has worked for me and my entire family. So my mom and the lineage going all the way back, also my daughter, which I find, you know, just so wonderful and such a beautiful gift. So I always like to share what works for me, right? I'm sharing what I know. I'm sharing authentically what has just really supported everything. And so anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Wishing you a powerful experience with the new you, the true you, claiming that for yourself, because that's our opportunity right now. To just say, thank you so much, human life, for everything. I'm ready for the next level, you know, to really embrace myself as an emanation of the divine. So wishing you an amazing weekend, a super powerful, and just keep your heart open. Allow yourself to keep feeling. Even I have resistance sometimes. I get really tired of feeling so much because it's exhausting. It's a full-time job to feel the programming and let it come out and through. But it's really important that we do that at this time to make space to receive all of the great gifts that are here for us. So wishing you all an amazing weekend. Hope to see you on Wednesday. Sending so much love and honoring you and blessings for you and your family at this time. And I will see you soon. All right, take care.